Like, if we didn't have the foundation of a friendship that we have, we wouldn't be together.
Right.
And that is absolutely crucial. And we used to pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, we have a better marriage than most of our friends because, we have all of this.
We're such
And
great
it's
friends.
so beautiful and it's so wonderful. And we were just kind of telling ourselves a load of crap.
Well, no, I mean, but that's what we needed. That's what we had up to that point. That's what we knew. That's what was important to us at that point.
Yeah.
And still, that is a huge. That's the foundation of
Sure.
where we are. But to say that the emotional intimacy is enough to have an amazing sex life is kind of disingenuous because there's a physical bond that needs to occur. And if you're gay, it doesn't.
Right.
There's
And that's where I would because that's sexuality in general, because that's where it gets a little even confusing for me to comprehend a marriage like yours. Is, for me at least, the way I experience sexuality is not just sex. Right?
Yes.
No.
It is
Yes.
the emotional bonding, the
Definitely.
intellectual, all the other layers to the bonding, which I've experienced to large degrees, intense degrees with women. But then when I've experienced it with a man, it's like, oh, that's totally, yeah. And it's not just the sex.
Mm-mm.
So, but taking it back into a mixed orientation marriage, which I'm not saying that's what yours is, but you can call it what you want.
You call it what you want.
But it's like, on the one hand, you guys do have a strong emotional bond. But I guess the question I'm leading to, is it the same as a same-sex emotional bond? Which to me becomes the more salient question. It's like, sex is sex, and yes, it's important, and it doesn't work for some people, and I probably couldn't get it up for a woman, let's just be honest. And some people can. Maybe, clearly you can, because you got some kids going. So, once or twice. So, but yeah, is it the same? Because that's where I say, that's for me where the impasse comes of like, no, because my mom has genuinely said, well, any chance? Because she's seen other, examples, any chance? And I was like, I gotta be honest, like, I don't think so, just because I feel like there's a difference. Not just in part A, if it's part B, sexual stuff, it's the emotional stuff too.
Yep.
So,
That's a really loaded question
Yeah.
because
I
it is.
need to leave the room while you answer this. I know the answer, but go ahead.
I didn't mean to launch.
It is different.
Yeah.
And to expect that it's not is naive, very naive. And I think that is that. I can't say had I known that I wouldn't have made the same decision that I made to get married in the first place. But it would have weighed a lot heavier. Because sure, it works. We've got 3 kids. It works. But it's different. And just like you said, you've had those experiences where you have been emotionally charged by a woman, but it's different with a man. When that is where your interest, where your orientation,
Your
for lack of it,
attractions.
your attractions are,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
And really, that's where we've had to rely so heavily on our base connection of really being best friends. And we've had this conversation with couples who are heterosexual, and and they're saying, oh well, like our sex life, we've been married for 10 years, and our sex life is non-existent. And well, yeah, I get that, but there's still something there.
Yeah.
There's still an element that is missing in our relationship that is very difficult to deal with. We always say we have all of this. We have this great relationship. We have these amazing kids. We have a really good life. and we're missing this one little key to the lock.
But it's
And
kind of not little, and we've minimized it, I think, for a long time. But it's the elephant in the room.
he's awfully cute, though.
How would you describe that missing element?
It was interesting because I read a blog post the other day that described it perfectly. It's we all have, as a woman anyway. I can't speak for y'all, but we want to be desired. And that's kind of been my mantra when things get really hard and I start questioning everything. I think, okay, it all kind of comes down to it sucks to not want to be desired.
Yeah.
To not be desired, I mean. And that kind of takes a lot of the air out of all the other junk. It's like, oh, the rest of it, this is just, it really kind of comes down to that.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Yeah.
But it's not just this. It's.
Yeah.
But my hope has been, because it's been okay. I've been able to just really enjoy what we do have. My hope is that need will sort of diminish, and that all the other great stuff will sort of that other stuff will sort of just outshine it.
Yeah. But I'm totally mixed about my reaction, which is like pretty much neither here nor there, obviously, for you and your relationship. But I think as a fellow human, I go, oh, is that something that we should be
Right.
asked to or even agree to for our own virtuous reasons to let go of?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the question that we ask all the time. I
Every
mean, we went into this thinking that, well, not thinking, but believing that this was God's plan, that this is what
Sure.
we should be pursuing, and that He would just pick it up and take care of it. And He has, in so many ways, filled in the gaps.
Yeah.
But like you said, is that something we really should be asked to
Right.
do? At this point, the toothpaste is out of the tube. We've got
We're
this,
16 years into this. We've got 3
we've got
beautiful
kids,
kids,
and we in our blog we've had people comment and say, well, this is ridiculous. You guys should be out pursuing your own life. You should not be together. And I cannot imagine
Right.
making that sever. And I know that as I say that, it sounds so selfish of me to say, no, you can't leave, and I'm not leaving. You have to stay in this
How many
sometimes
times have I said that
hellhole.
to you?
And but at the same time, I don't know what else I would do.
Right.
Yeah. I always said that when the pain of staying is greater than the pain of leaving, then that would be. But
Right.
you can't know what the pain
can't
of leaving
quantify
would
that.
be until you actually leave.
Right.
And you say we thought that this was God's will. I still very much
Mm-hmm.
feel
Yeah, and
that
yes,
this is where we're supposed to be.
I shouldn't say that we thought,
Right.
And
or we wouldn't still be here.
absolutely, because it has strengthened my faith. This whole experience has done nothing but bring me closer to God,
Yeah.
and that has been. I thank Him for that, because I feel like, okay, everything happens for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is exactly as it should be for my learning, and so I just got to make sure I'm learning so I can move on.
Yeah.
Let's get past this part.
So on a good day, I imagine it feels worth it and
Absolutely.
Even on a bad day,
survivable.
there are very redeemable, really great things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I want to go back to just even further because I think we're in a good place of helping an audience that doesn't get it or understand. What is the difference between the emotional intimacy with somebody of the same sex versus in a mixed orientation marriage, and pushing further on both on your end of it and your end in terms of, because that's super helpful. You're an active participant here who has the need as a human being to be desired. That's part of the bonding part of the marriage that should be there, and that sustains you sustains you through the marriage part and the raising kids part. I mean, it's all so integral. So you have that need, and then you have your needs that in a way you are desired by your mate,
But not in the way you
but
want
it doesn't fulfill that need of, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth. But.
It's interesting because all the time, I think I have that same train of thought is we're really feeling the same way because I'm not being fulfilled or being desired the way I would like to be either. And I think that we skip that a lot. That, well,
because there's no answer.
there's no answer.
So
Right.
you skip over it or you dwell on it.
Right.
But it never gets solved.
It never gets solved, and I don't know that it will be.
And just to push even further, what do you feel, or how can you describe what isn't fulfilling about it, or how, again, back to that question, how is it different? Because people would say, I don't understand, they're buddies, they love each other, it's this, it's that.
She wants you, what's the problem?
Right, yeah, so, and yeah, okay, we
The
get
physical
it, you're gay.
attraction is not there to interact intimately. It's always been
Go ahead. We're good. Go ahead. I'm not gonna look at you.
it's always been a mechanical act. Good, pleasurable, but mechanical.
Okay, but you said pleasurable. So in my mind, good enough.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking too. Come on.
But it isn't, and I know it's not. And so, but what is it? What?
Because the act itself is pleasurable.
Sort of.
But the connection, the
You're not able to be fully present.
I'm not able to be fully present.
Mm.
Being
Oh.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
The
To be able-
mechanics, part of the mechanics is being somewhere else
Yeah.
mentally
Okay.
and not being physically fully in that moment.
Yeah.
And when that is removed, that's when it becomes, it's just
Time to make the donuts.
time to make the donuts.
Is that a post-coital ritual or something?
Oh, I wish.
Oh.
Ooh, donut.
Oh, you're just making donuts.
No.
Okay. But what about, again, but what about the emotional? You know, we said that's, even if this mechanics and that's not fulfilling and it doesn't that's not a full connection, there's the emotional component as well.
So, and then there's all the emotional of, okay, so if I'm not able to fully be there, am I, like, what is that doing to her? Because subconsciously, over the years, she was reading that.
Yeah.
She was definitely absorbing that, and it was detrimental very much to her psyche and playing on this I'm not desired, because I don't know what word to use to tell you to describe the difference, but it's different. It's different. And people have asked me that over the years. What is different? I don't know. I can't tell you. It's just different.
Yeah.
I'm wired differently.
Yeah.
And then because of the damage emotionally that causes, by removing that one little element, whatever that is, whatever we describe that as, that then starts to eat at our base and our foundation, because then suddenly she's not feeling of value, she's not feeling of worth, and I'm feeling like this horrible person by saying, you know what, so what, suck it up, we're in this and you've got to deal with it, and pushing and making it work and being this monster that I'm forcing
Well, and then he's
and ruining a life.
Can't forgive himself for ruining me, and it just piles.
Right.
And then I feel bad for making him feel bad because I feel bad because.
And it just spirals.
It's just